In the 2003-04 season, Arsenal achieved what no modern Premier League team has managed: an unbeaten season. Known forever as the Invincibles, they rewrote football history. But that golden era didn't last. Arsenal reached the highest high and never touched it again. In this video, we delve into their legacy, the ultimate what-if in Premier League lore. And welcome to Perspective Football. Arsène Wenger's revolution began well before 2003. In the 2001-02 season, Arsenal scored in every league match, won the league and FA Cup double, and sparked talk of shifting power in English football. A season later, they remained unbeaten in away games, hitting a 14-match win streak and reinforcing Wenger's ambition to stay invincible. Entering the 2003-04 season, Wenger strengthened key positions. Jens Lehmann in goal and José Antonio Reyes in January, while balancing a tight budget due to stadium costs. Arsène Wenger, often dubbed Le Professeur, had already revolutionized English football since arriving in 1996, modernizing fitness, nutrition, and scouting. But in 2003-04, he hit perfection. Arsenal played a flexible 4-4-2 system, but it was anything but rigid. The front line of Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp combined elegance and devastation. Behind them, Robert Pires and Freddie Ljungberg offered width and late runs into the box, while Patrick Vieira and Gilberto Silva patrolled the midfield with a mix of steel and control. Vieira's box-to-box power and Gilberto's discipline created the perfect pivot. At the back, Arsenal were rock solid. Sol Campbell and Kolo Touré, an unexpected pairing, formed a complementary partnership. Campbell's power and positioning met Touré's speed and tenacity. Ashley Cole and Lauren, as fullbacks, were relentless up and down the flanks. And in goal? Jens Lehmann, who had just joined that summer from Borussia Dortmund, was unorthodox but reliable. He kept 15 clean sheets and brought a fiery competitiveness that fit right in. It wasn't just about results, it was how they played. Arsenal blended counter-attacking speed with intricate passing moves. Their goals were often poetic, one-touch sequences, darting runs and outside-of-the-boot finishes. They could win ugly, a scrappy 1-0 over Manchester United, a gritty comeback versus Liverpool, but they usually won beautifully. The team believed they were unbeatable. The confidence was real, but so was the work rate. Wenger instilled discipline without fear. Everyone knew their role. Probably the most important player for Arsenal at that time was Thierry Henry. Henry was arguably the best striker in the world that season. He finished with 30 league goals and 6 assists, including 2 hat-tricks and countless solo efforts that defied belief. He was fast, clinical, creative, a complete forward. At his peak, he was unplayable. This wasn't just an unbeaten run. It was a record-smashing one. They had the longest unbeaten start to a Premier League season with 38 games and extended that run to 49 unbeaten league games in total between May 2003 and October 2004. They became the first top-flight English side to go unbeaten since Preston North End in 1888-89, who managed it in a 22-game season. Their unbeaten run included 26 wins, 12 draws and 0 losses. They scored 73 goals, conceded 26 and finished with a goal difference of plus 47. Arsenal clinched the title with 4 games to spare at White Hart Lane, Arsenal's North London rivals, with a 2-2 draw. They scored in every single away game and went entirely unbeaten away from home, something no team had done before. Their top scorers in all competitions were Thierry Henry with 39, Robert Pires with 19, Freddie Ljungberg with 10, Dennis Bergkamp with 5, and Edu also with 5. Defensively, Jens Lehmann kept 15 clean sheets, and the team conceded just 26 goals, an average of only 0.68 per match. The season featured iconic matches like the 4-2 win over Liverpool with a Henry hat-trick, a 2-1 win at Stamford Bridge, a tense 0-0 draw against Manchester United in the infamous Battle of Old Trafford, and the emphatic 5-0 win against Leeds. In 2002, Wenger claimed, "It's not impossible to go unbeaten for a season. I believe it can be done." And boy was he right. In the following season, he was able to achieve that feat, a feat that many believed to be impossible. For all of Arsenal's domestic glory during the Invincibles era, one glaring omission shadows their legacy: success in Europe. Despite their dominance in the Premier League, Arsenal never translated that form to the UEFA Champions League during their peak. In 2003-04, the very season they went unbeaten in England, they were knocked out in the quarter-finals by Chelsea, losing 3-2 on aggregate after a stunning late goal by Wayne Bridge at Highbury. Their best Champions League run came in 2005-06 when they reached the final in Paris. But by then, The Invincibles had already started to break apart. Vieira was gone. Henry was nearing his exit. Lehmann's early red card in the final against Barcelona shifted the game, and Arsenal lost 2-1 despite taking the lead. Had the Invincibles won in Europe, their legacy might have crossed from legendary to immortal. It remains the greatest what-if of them all. In October 2004, the unbeaten run came to an end dramatically at Old Trafford. A controversial penalty and a late Rooney strike handed Manchester United a 2-0 win, ending Arsenal's 49-match unbeaten streak. That loss was more than just a result. It was a turning point. Arsenal began to slip, not drastically at first, but the aura of invincibility was gone. The club finished second in the league in 2004-05, winning the FA Cup on penalties against United. But the slow erosion of the team's core had begun. Patrick Vieira left for Juventus in the summer of 2005. Robert Pires followed. Sol Campbell, Ashley Cole, and eventually Henry too. By 2008, nearly every Invincible was gone. There were several reasons for Arsenal's decline. The biggest was the move to the Emirates Stadium in 2006. It was a bold and necessary step for the club's long-term vision, designed to boost matchday revenue and global profile. But in the short term, it came at a steep cost. Arsenal were forced into austerity, unable to keep up financially with the likes of Roman Abramovich's Chelsea or the surging Manchester United. While rivals spent big on proven world-class talent, Arsenal tightened the purse strings. Wenger, ever the visionary, chose to double down on youth. Instead of replacing legends with experienced stars, he invested in potential. Cesc Fabregas, Robin van Persie, Theo Walcott, Abu Diaby, and Nicholas Bentner were all thrust into the spotlight. The philosophy was admirable. Build a new team from within. But it lacked the physical presence, leadership, and mental fortitude that had defined the Invincibles. When the pressure mounted, these young squads often faltered. Another key factor was Wenger's idealism. While the league evolved tactically, becoming more athletic, more strategic, and more defensive-minded, Arsenal remained loyal to the same attacking philosophy. Wenger refused to compromise his principles, even when results began to suffer. His teams played beautiful football, but often lacked the steel to grind out wins in tough fixtures. They became synonymous with style without substance. Recruitment became increasingly erratic. The club failed to properly replace key departures. Mathieu Flamini, Samir Nasri, and Emmanuel Adebayor came and went. Marquee signings were rare, and when they arrived, like Andrei Arshavin or Marouane Chamakh, they rarely made a lasting impact. Injuries piled up and promising seasons unravelled by February. Arsenal would start campaigns brightly, only to crumble under the weight of expectation. Moreover, the psychological shadow of the Invincibles began to grow. Each year that followed 2004, the pressure to replicate perfection intensified. Fans and pundits alike held the new teams to impossible standards. Wenger's legacy became a double-edged sword. His greatest achievement was also his most enduring burden. Arsenal's Invincibles remain a benchmark. No team has gone unbeaten through a 38-game Premier League season since. Even the all-conquering Manchester City sides under Pep Guardiola have fallen short. The Invincibles played with beauty, bravery, and belief. But their legacy is tinged with melancholy, because they could have done more. With better squad retention, more financial backing, and a little more ruthlessness, Arsenal might have become a dynasty. Instead, they became a monument, a reminder of what once was. This is where the great what if begins to haunt their legacy. What if the club had managed to keep Vieira, Henry and Cole together a few years longer? What if Wenger had been backed in the transfer market the same way Alex Ferguson or Jose Mourinho were? What if Arsenal had pushed forward with bold reinforcements instead of conservative youth development during the Emirates transition? What if Wenger had tweaked his approach tactically in response to a changing league? Each of these unanswered questions chips away at the image of a team that could have defined an era. In another universe, Arsenal may have become the defining force of the 2000s and early 2010s football, a true dynasty capable of conquering Europe. But that window closed quickly. Their Champions League dreams were never realised, with the 2006 final being the closest they came. In truth, Arsenal's greatest triumph remains isolated, singular, a lightning strike that never struck again. Yet that doesn't diminish their achievement. In the annals of football history, few teams can claim perfection. The Arsenal of 2003 to 2004 did. And no matter what followed, that can never be taken away. The story of Arsenal's Invincibles isn't just about a football team that went unbeaten. It's about the fleeting nature of greatness. In a sport driven by results, the Invincibles remain a reminder that perfection is possible, but fragile. Their rise was meteoric, their fall almost inevitable. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Comment your favorite Invincibles memory and whether you think we'll ever see a team go unbeaten again. Thanks for watching. See you next time.